Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Wasn't planning on doing this one, I thought I'd finish for the evening, but a headline has come up that I feel needs explored. Now, earlier today I did a video regarding nurseries, preschool nurseries in Glasgow that insist now that children as young as, well, basically newborns can identify as trans, and they must be exposed to that degenerate ideology. And then there's these groups that want to come in and then discuss with 2 and 3 year olds what it means to be trans and to discuss their sexuality and things like that. That is just sickening, inducing, really is absolutely turning your stomach. However, we need to look just slightly on the larger picture because of where I'm going with this. Because this is also the same Scotland where the government, in the form of the SNP, and in particularly John Swinney, who for many years was the Education Secretary, remember, a man who pushed these ideologies and who was challenged on these ideologies and was asked why, and I'm going to have to apologise in advance about the language, but there is no glossing over this. He was in a meeting once and he was asked at this meeting by a member of the public, by a parent, why Swinney thought it was appropriate to teach 7 and 8 year olds, not just about the basics, the bird and the bees, but why they were taught about masturbation, mutual masturbation, why they were taught about putting things into each other's bodies. I mean, this is very famously where the banana and Nutella came in, why they were being told about analingus, the licking of a bottom, why they were told about oral sex and techniques, why they were taught to say that talking about this was perfectly normal, and where if they have any questions about these things, it should be considered normal and encouraged to speak to adults about this. This is what the SNP are pushing in schools. This is it. Now, he was at this meeting, he was questioned about this, and then he went on one of his usual non-answery, well, it's very important children are made aware of all sorts of things, we don't want to make anything abnormal or normal. No. Swinney was pushing and grooming children as the education minister. Now, I know that there are many people who claim that there are rumours regarding this particular individual. I can't possibly comment on those rumours. I have heard them. Whether they're true or not, I cannot say. But it does seem very odd that an SNP education minister should be so keen on pushing these things onto young adults, younger or say, pubescent children, prepubescent children, or even young children. And now, of course, basically little more than babies. What is his obsession? When questioned, he can never say it's wrong. He will never say it's wrong. And this, for me, is a very worrying thing. Not only as the education minister, but now as the first minister, he has the opportunity to set the record straight and to say, no, really, it was just something that happened at the time. He didn't mean it. And yes, of course, we are going to protect children. We are going to stand there and say, this is absolutely wrong. No parent would expect their very young, sometimes, child to go to school and to be exposed to these things outside of the family home, without the parents present, having what is effectively a stranger talk to your child about some very extreme forms of sexual relationships, to the point where I would consider it to be grooming or even paid behaviour. Certainly any teacher like that really needs to be on a register, needs to be watched, needs to never ever work with children again. Why do they seem to think that children are so attractive to them that they need to say, hey, come and talk to me about your sexual fantasies. Because that's the message being pushed. Now, as I mentioned in my earlier video, England and Wales have brought in a law that you cannot discuss any, and they mean any, form of sexual education with any child below the age of 9. I think it's 9 or under. I'm not sure what the actual cut-off. It's 9 or under or below the age of 9, whatever. But the point is, not very small. But then they have a grading system. So they start at 9 with just some very basic biological stuff. Nothing too heavy. Basic terminology and basic mechanics. Let's just put it that way. Nothing scary, put it that way. Okay? We get that. So that's what they've got in England and Wales. And today, Swinney was asked if he would be willing to protect the children of Scotland by bringing in a similar law, a similar protection for the Scottish children aged 9 and under. And he declined. He said no. The SNP have no plans to bring in this law. They were asked directly if they would do this. The SNP, which has pushed these things onto children for years, which has obsessed sexually over children for years, were given an opportunity, now that England and Wales have done it, to jump on the bandwagon and say, oh, no, okay, yeah, okay, we'll go along with that. Well, so that every child, no matter where they come from in Great Britain, will be protected in law from peds, perverts and predators. And the head of the SNP has said, no, we're not going to do that. We don't want children protected. We want children to be used like this. We want to impose sexuality on them, some very, very severe sexual thoughts, practices. We want to hear back. We want to hear what children are thinking when they touch themselves. We want children to talk to us adults about their sexuality. That's what the SNP want. If you're an SNP voter, look to your children, look to your grandchildren, and ask yourself this. Do you want those children talking to adults about sexual matters, about their sexuality, about how they feel when they touch themselves? Do you want them to describe to adults their bits and what they do with their bits and how they feel when they're touching their bits? I suspect you probably don't. Swinney does. The SNP do. Still going to vote for them. We all know now, and we've known for some time, what the P stands for. Today they've proved it. I'm done for the night. Thank you very much. Goodbye.